Andrew here. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. So I'm drinking a friend's Hellas. He did a pretty good job. I do have some comments. I actually did a beer review sheet of it, but I gave it some good marks. Nice and clear. It's a Hellas, so it's got a lot of nice maltiness. I think it could use to be a tad more bitter and have a little bit more hop flavor, but that might also kind of come down to personal preference. Anyway, lots of stuff going on. I brewed last weekend, did a gingerbread porter. It was supposed to be imperial, but I missed my mash temperature pretty handily, probably about 10 degrees. And because I was doing my first time with this RO system, I didn't realize how fucking long it takes to get the water. I mean, I think it took a good 40 minutes for each 5-gallon bucket of water that I did. So, note to self, start the water earlier, maybe the day before, just like I used to do. It also, I did a pH test of it, and even though I'm only using the first 3 stages of the RO filter, the carbon filter, the sediment filter, not in that order, and the RO filter, and it came out with my pH meter saying it's about a 7.5, 7.6 pH, which is a little higher than I expected. I kind of thought it would be just a pH of 7, but maybe I misunderstood things. I don't know. Maybe my pH meter needs a new probe. That's one thing I was kind of concerned with when I went into, or after I mashed and took a look at the pH after mash. And I mean, this was completely after the mash. It was up in the 6s, about 6.2, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't have any notes in front of me. Usually I note all this stuff down. I've got a monitor that's right out of the view of the camera to see this shit, but I didn't do any of that today. But with missing my temperature, I think that caused me to miss my original gravity quite a bit. I don't know if maybe I should have left it go longer. I tried heating it up and letting it go for a little while to see if I could get some more sugars to convert. It may have went too high, so note to self for next time, start the strike water a bit warmer. I've been setting my PID controller for my hot liquor ton to 175. Next time I'm trying 185 and seeing if I can hit about 155 for a mash temperature for that. And if the next one, if I decide, sorry, my foot's bothering me a little bit, too much running and too little beer, I guess. If I decide to do a shorter or a lighter bodied beer, something like a Pilsner or something like that, then I'll adjust to compensate. But hopefully that kind of fixes stuff. Anyway, the porter in the fermenter, I got way too much. It came up to about 6 gallons. I usually target about 5.25 gallons for non-hoppy beers or beers I'm not dry hopping, and then an additional 1/4 gallon if I'm dry hopping, just to give it some more space so I can fill up a keg. And I used a blow-off tube, thank God. In fact, I'm going to cut over to a video here as I just talk over it and do this in post, that it was really trying to push through. It was trying to push the cap up despite having the blow-off tube in place. So it's nice. It was a vigorous fermentation. Today's Tuesday evening, and I think fermentation's actually ended. It doesn't look like anything's going on. It looks like the crossing has dropped, and the temperature has actually dropped. I use a thermowell in these things, and it was up to about 72, which is not incredibly warm. It's within the limits of that yeast, which I think was 62 to 74. I used the Imperial Darkness yeast, and it just seems like all activity has stopped. So at some point I'm going to pull a sample of it. I'm going to give it a few more days. I mean, I like to let the yeast have some opportunity to clean up after themselves. But so far, it's looking like this may have fermented quicker than I expected. But also, being a lighter beer, I kind of expected that too. So, anyway, I'm going to get back to drinking this, and I've got some work stuff going on behind me. I've been really busy with work, and when not with work, it's been with beer stuff. We've had our BJCP group We had a special session last week of a bunch of barrel-aged beers, which was just so horrible. I hope the sarcasm comes through on the video. And then we've got another session tomorrow night. Or wait, Thursday night, not tomorrow night. So, anyway, I'm going to get back to drinking this. I love drinking German beers out of a mug for some reason, even though this is a decidedly non-Germanic mug because it is a running mug from Toledo, Ohio, the Glass City. So, cheers.